Welcome in, Monday edition, Blue Sky Live here with you today. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford studio. All of Omaha is set except for one game left tonight, and because that's the theme of the tournament, it's SEC versus ACC. We'll recap a little of that, discuss the sport, got some football stuff, got some other stuff. I don't know. Be with you. We'll recap the weekend, just hang out here on what is June the 10th. So you get a June 10th podcast because that's all we have to talk about. It is what it is. So anyway, we're closely,
I'm not complaining.
No. It's cool.
I'm not one of the people that wishes the summer away.
Yeah, you don't get all anxious at the fact that we don't have defensive ends to discuss today.
It'll be
It'll
here.
get here.
It'll be here when it gets here.
It'll get here.
I don't wish the summer away.
Yes.
People do that, and it boggles my mind.
Yeah. This time's okay.
Chill.
Good time of the year.
It's okay to relax. It's okay to kick back and take a vacation, get away. It's okay.
Yeah. So
everything doesn't have to be a countdown.
A lot of instant gratification.
Yeah.
Or desire for instant gratification, I guess I should say.
Just there are people that compete in things that it's not worth competing.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion. It's just okay. Relax.
Yes, Mackenzie Long had a hell of a weekend. We'll talk about that as well. So, all right, Blue Sky locations all over Mississippi, up and down I-55 throughout North Mississippi as well. No matter where you are inside the state, there's a Blue Sky close by. A lot of Sweet Daddy's locations. Those include the lunch specials that here in Oxford, $5.69, couple sides bread, any size fountain drink. But across the state, if you see a Sweet Daddy's, pulled pork, ribs, side items, desserts, and much more. They're with Blue Sky locations again, up and down from I-55. North Mississippi, Macomb, the epicenter. Tons of options for you. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today. 662-257-1900. Corey and the people at Clark Ford, they want to be your car guy. They want to be your truck guy. They'll prove to you what that means when you make the call. Again, 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. The Campbell Clinic is in Oxford now, 2608 South Lamar Boulevard, Suite 102. Just across the street from the cottages at Hooper Hollow, the Campbell Clinic provides full-service orthopedic care. Everything from sports medicine to foot and ankle surgery to spine and total joint care. Pediatric orthopedics, physical therapy, and more. To book an appointment, go to campbellclinicoxford.com. or call 901-759-3111. Walk-ins always welcome at the Campbell Clinic, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah, to make sure that I don't bypass it, get into baseball talk and go on. Mackenzie Long, the Ole Miss sprinter, competed in the NCAA championships over the weekend and pulled off the sprinting Triple Crown. Ole Miss won the 4x100 relay, the first time that the school has won that event. Then she backed it up with a title in the 100 meters, and then backed that up with a title in the 200 meters. So the 4x100, the 100, and the 200 for the senior. Really good story. She lost her mom earlier this year. Talked about that a lot after the race and some different media stuff going on. And pulled that off in about an hour and a half. So, like, not even a lot of rest. You're just run, take a minute, run, take a minute, run. All that helped Ole Miss to a fifth-place national finish. I think I saw Arkansas won the women's, if I have that right on top of my head. I want to say maybe Florida won the men's and Arkansas won the women's, if I have that right.
I don't know.
I think that's right. But anyway, highest finish ever for Ole Miss. His name, it's escaping me. I apologize for that. Ole Miss also had a men's shot put champion from a couple of days prior to that as well. So, it sort of, I turned it on. I'd kind of forgotten about it, saw it on social media, flipped it on, watched the 4x100, and then was doing some other stuff. Kind of came back, luckily, right as she was about to run the 100. So I watched a little bit of it there on, I guess Saturday was when that happened. But anyway, congratulations to her and to Connie Price-Smith, who's done an excellent job as Ole Miss's track and field coach the last few years, and what that program is doing right now. Yeah, the SEC was quite dominant. I know we're all blown away by that when it happens in any sport that is going on. So yeah, and look, my track and field expertise is very, very, very low. So I don't know what's good programming and bad programming, but I will give ESPN credit for this, and maybe this is just normal in all track and field. letting the person who's there to probably just watch a certain team or person understand the team aspect and how you go about winning the thing. They did a really good job with graphics and showing you, hey, here's the score, but here's all the remaining points possible for these teams, and don't get too caught up in, because like Arkansas was like 5th, but they had 100 points left possible, and nobody else had more than whatever. And you went, oh, okay, they're going to run a lot more races there at some point.
Was that in Oregon?
It was in Eugene, yes.
Gotcha.
Titletown, USA, as they refer to it. They're in Eugene.
I thought that was Green Bay.
They're green and yellow.
There you go.
They are. Maybe they just took the same logo and
that's the key
transposed it over to
the key to being Titletown.
It is one hell of a track and field facility at a college.
Yeah.
Like it you can just see from around that it's pretty damn impressive. Yeah, Tariq Robinson O'Hagan. I knew Tariq, but I could not remember his last name there. So yes, he is the shot put national champion on the men's side there. And I saw his overall career, some pretty nutty stuff. He'd won like the indoor and the outdoor. I mean, it was like 12 SEC titles or something. Like it just was a domination thing there from his standpoint. But anyway, yeah, congratulations to all of them. Again, Mackenzie Long pulling off that triple crown, if you will. There, yeah. The Eugene, Oregon's in April. If Neal runs a 5th one, that might be one to.
I don't know. My problem is the back-to-back running days is not possible right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can run one day, and then I've got to do other things.
A lot of cross training.
I was so excited yesterday, though, because Peloton, Vandeveld is his last name. He used to be an instructor on Peloton, and he was my favorite one.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, he's awesome. Like, his classes are brutal, but, like, he explains them really well, so you sort of know what you're doing.
Okay.
Because a lot of the other Peloton instructors, and I love Peloton. No, I'm not ripping Peloton, but some of the instructors get real hung up in self, and they forget that they're teaching a class sometimes. He doesn't. He's great, but he disappeared for years, and then suddenly yesterday he's back
with Peloton.
Yeah, and I was so excited. I mean,
did you get a backstory or anything? Like, where's he been? What's he been doing? Did he join some like Nordic track or some competing network?
I don't know. He's one of those people that has the Fountain of Youth attached to them.
What's his name?
His last name is Vandeveld.
Well,
and I can't think of his first name.
It's not Jean.
It might be Jean.
I'm kidding. That's a golfer.
I don't know. Yeah, he's great though. But
so you did the class yesterday?
Yeah, I did the 45.
Christian Vandeveld.
That's him.
There's a story from Peloton Buddy on April 6th that said he was back teaching classes again in 2024.
It was the most exciting thing in my weekend.
I can't decide if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Probably both.
I'm a little confused on how to take that.
Probably both. Yeah, he was talking about the Tour de France getting ready to get started up, but I hopped on, did a 45-minute class. It was the best class I've had in years.
Really?
Yeah, it was great. I was thrilled. Yeah, I had like 600 calories in 45 minutes, which is great. He's the only one that when I do his class, it feels like a run.
He's a former pro cyclist who competed in the Tour de France 11 times. Now works for NBC as a cycling analyst, helping cover cycling events across the world.
Okay.
So that's what Christian has been.
He's a stud.
It looks like he will be doing some kind of classes, then some time off, more classes, just sort of an intermittent schedule there for
I'll take what
Neal moving forward.
I'll take what I can get.
Don't look the gift horse in the mouth.
Nope.
Don't check his teeth.
Nope.
Just take it and move on.
Very pleased.
That's actually a good saying. Yeah, if you get it, you just take it. Don't overanalyze it.
Right.
Don't wish it were something.
It's along the lines of don't wish your summer away.
So Burninator knew that. Said he is he's a Tour de France commentator.
That makes sense.
Okay, fair enough. That's fine. I guess we'll do some baseball. I guess Ole Miss side first. Look, still looking for a pitching coach. I know one name. I know he's a finalist. I have absolutely zero idea who the other person is. This has been for a couple different reasons in ways. I'm not shocked, but it's been very tight-lipped. They shot for the moon early, got told no. I know they had at least looked down the road and discussed the job with some MLB pitching coaches, meaning like literally Major League Baseball pitching coaches that are in the dugout for Major League teams.
The person you and I talked about said no.
Yeah, money and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just, I mean, that was too high of a bar. It
It made no
simply was
sense.
not something that was compatible to all ways. And then every other name that I've heard, and again, if the other person does not fit this profile, what?
Avery says you should always check a horse's teeth no matter what.
Okay, well, all right, sorry.
There you go.
But it's free, Avery. It's a gift horse. It's
Yeah.
it's free.
But even that horse, you should check its
Okay.
teeth.
Fair enough. All right. I have a hunch I can find out a lot by its teeth.
Probably so.
I think, yeah. So
That applies to more than just
it's
horses.
fair. Yes. There's a lot of truth to that.
I
isn't
mean,
there?
you know, nothing against the horses out there, but
Yeah.
that's not strictly theirs.
So look, if it's somebody who doesn't fit this profile, then they had one other person and they went a different way, and I'll be kind of stunned. But everything I've heard has been pro background primarily, with some college stuff trickled in. I've said that. I've written that. I'm just kind of catching everybody up who's been under a rock the last week and a half. The name that I know is Dave Anderson. He is currently the high A pitching coach of the Los Angeles Dodgers. That is the Great Lake Loons, if you'd like a specific team to that. His college background is pretty sparse. If I have a negative for him, it's that he has never coached or played at a high-pressure D1 school, or frankly, D1 period. Well, I guess Cornell's technically D1. He's been at Cornell and he's been at Emory. And he played at a really small school that I don't even know what division they play in. So that would be your negative from that standpoint. Now, Ole Miss is looking for someone who, when they want college experience, they simply want somebody who understands, hey, we don't have 5 years to develop. We got to win now. And you got to figure out that, hey, this is urgent from getting someone ready, and that understands that you have a 20-person pitching staff, and it's not the same setup as the way high A or way minor leagues would be as far as how you manage so many pitchers and staff members and the way things work. So you want logistical knowledge from a college standpoint. He is widely regarded in the Dodgers system. He came in as a kind of an instructs rookie ball. I think ACL Dodgers is the team name that he came in for. He's been with this high A team for 3 years. And I've seen some backlash on the message board going, you went all the way from talking to big leagues down to a high A guy. But there is some knowledge of understanding that a high A pitching coach touches almost every pitcher in your organization because everyone's coming through there. Yeah. And you're also kind of that first line of defense of fixing things that were wrong in college, looking at it and going, okay, what are we optimizing now? What are we doing? And that's where Ole Miss has failed. I mean, look, I'll be frank here. I sort of started digging and got mad at myself that I've never really checked on it with people because there didn't seem as much of a reason to. Ole Miss doesn't have a very good reputation right now when it comes to pitchers, when it comes to developing pitchers, when it comes to using technology effectively, because I think I said this last week, maybe with Neal, maybe with Brian, I don't know. Things are kind of running together. That Ole Miss has a lot of the same technology as every other SEC school and as Wake Forest with their pitching lab, but it's how you use it, how you interpret it, and how you optimize it that actually decides things. I mean, a lot of scientists have the same lab set up, but that doesn't mean they're all the same scientists when it comes to something different. And Ole Miss does not have a very good reputation for that right now. So they need someone who understands the data and then knows what to do with it to optimize their players. And that's why the professional side is so valued right now in this search. That's what you're looking for. It's not, hey, just this high-profile recruiter or name or anything like that. It's minutia on, with your structure and your development and your fundamentals, how do we fix it? How do we optimize it? And then should you be throwing a curveball instead of a slider? Should you be doing this? Should we be doing this? All these different things that are about maximizing the player's potential. And I think that's what they're looking for here, and that's why this guy fits the bill. So, look, I'm not saying it's perfect. I have no idea. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying you're kind of missing the point if you go, hey, you didn't go get a AAA guy or a minor league pitching coordinator. You got a high A guy. It's like that's not what they're trying to do. Like, they're trying to fix one specific thing with the hire as they can fix it.
And let's be real, they're not working with, hey, come here and you're going to get 4 years.
No, it could be 1 year.
I mean,
now I think the guy's going to get a 2-year contract.
Right. But you're only kind of guaranteed 1 year. So complicated.
Yeah, and the reason it makes sense for him is that if it goes well, maybe he gets into the college game and starts making a lot more money, and he ends up being a head coach making millions of dollars one day. And if it doesn't work, 30 pro teams will go sign him immediately, and he'll go back to the pro game and start doing it again.
Yeah.
Because if you're one of the more highly regarded pitching coaches in the Dodgers organization, somebody's going to hire you and grab you.
Sure.
They're not going to blame him if Ole Miss has a 6.5 ERA next year.
No.
Not going to be his fault.
No.
So it's really a win-win for him. He gets to make, or anyone who takes this job. Again, I do not know.
So when you say the reputation's not good, is that among players, among high school coaches, club coaches?
It starts being kind of word of mouth. I think some players were frustrated with the way that technology and development was used. That trickles down into other kids to some extent. I think that trickles into some circles from recruiting. And I mean, look, I'm not saying they can't recruit anybody. Don't nobody take it all the way down to zero. It's just not where you would want it to be.
You're good. You're safe.
Exactly. Like, oh God, they can't. No, it's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's not where you would want it to be. And anecdotes start becoming truth when it comes to recruiting.
Yeah.
One or two anecdotes starts really affecting you.
Yeah. And
you need to reverse that. You need to prevent that. You need to kind of get out of that the other direction. So that's kind of where they are right now with that. Timeline-wise, they need it to be fast because essentially they're, to my knowledge, not really recruiting pitchers until they have a pitching coach. Because, I mean, it's hard to bring somebody in out of the portal and go, hey, I don't even know who's coaching you tomorrow. So, look, the clock's ticking. They need to get it done. I would assume it's this week. That's my guess. Because if it's not this week, it tells me that somebody else has emerged. They've gotten confused. They don't really know who they want to offer, or they got turned down once or twice. Those are the only really options. Because if you get down to two, at some point you're just picking one and you see what they say and you go to the other one if necessary. So, look, they need to get it done. I get that it's not going to be probably some name that everybody's heard of, but at the same time, whether it works or not, that's not the point. The point is trying to actually 100% enhance development and the way that they go about their protocols here. And I'm curious too. It's the thing that's made it most curious for me for the next season is how Mike steps away, how he lets this person do their job. Because, look, we do it in football all the time, and we made fun of Jimbo going, yeah, sure, he's going to let Bobby take over even though he says he is every day. I mean, we didn't. Yeah, we did that. So, look, it's real.
Because, I mean, that's a great example.
Yeah.
We heard all this going into last season that Jimbo Fisher had hired Bobby Petrino, who is undoubtedly an offensive whiz. I think that's more than fair. You can make all the motorcycle jokes and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, the guy runs a really good offense.
Sure.
But they didn't let him run his offense. He called the plays, but they were Jimbo's plays.
Yeah.
It was Jimbo's schemes.
Yeah.
So it was effing pointless is what it was. So, yeah, if you're Mike and you bring in a pitching coach, are you going to let him be the pitching coach?
Yeah, it has to be completely off hands. Hey, yours.
Because if I'm leaving the Dodgers organization right now, that organization's highly thought of.
Yeah, because if I keep doing what I'm doing, I might just be a big league pitching coach in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Or less.
Yeah, he's 30, by the way. And again, I don't know they're hiring this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I've got to know that. There can't be any lingering doubts.
So that's where we are. We'll see where it goes. Again, I think this week, that is my guess. But no, it's critical. Mike leaving him alone is critical. Getting the hire right is critical. But this guy at least does fit the profile of what they have been trying to do. And they got to get going to the portal. I mean, you look around, and a lot of other teams have already kind of gotten the tampering done, started getting the guys coming in. I mean, it's what, look, Georgia picked up a couple dudes in the last couple of days. They've been tampering for a month. Like
at least
everyone has.
Yes.
I mean, frankly, if you have a problem with Ole Miss right now, it's, hey, where are the dudes that you just knew you were getting? Like, go ahead and get those guys in the boat. What's up? Like, that would be your big criticism at the moment when it comes to Ole Miss in the portal.
And that's where all the speculation about will they or won't they hurt you. It really hurts you in the tampering portal.
Mm-hmm. Because you couldn't go, hey, here's the deal.
Well, other people are going, hey, right. Before you go there, understand they might fire him in June.
Yeah. Yeah. And there wasn't a lot of that in the SEC. There wasn't a lot of coaches that were in that boat.
No.
The league was pretty stable.
It's kind of just him.
Yeah.
And there were some rumors and stuff, but that was the only one that was kind of publicly speculated upon.
Yeah. Because, I mean, even the Auburn stuff never really got out to mainstream. Corbin's always threatening something. He did fire 2 members of his coaching staff, by the way. Fired both assistants who weren't Scott Brown, and then the head coach at Dayton, he is hired to be one of his assistant coaches.
Oh.
Yeah. So the head coach at the Flyers has left to join the Commodores.
Probably not the greatest mood in the world around their complex right now.
Vanderbilt?
Probably a little tense.
That was bad. They played bad baseball.
They did.
They were sick.
And then they look around, and other people that they are measured against are
doing okay.
Doing well.
Yeah, they've had good days. So we'll talk about that in a second as well. Go to break. We'll come back, hit some more baseball with you. Tell you about G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer medicine. If your prescription's the same day each month, take care of you. They also are easy. Transfer your medications, one phone call, and they take care of the rest. You do that with, again, Tyson Drugs on the Square in Holly Springs or G&M in Oxford. Again, that's 662-236-2222.
Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with the personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Seago with Seago Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting. See what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. Brought to you by Grenada Home Center. They've got paint by Benjamin Moore, Pittsburgh Paints, and Farrell Calhoun, flooring of any and all types, stone countertops, whether you're looking for granite, quartz, or anything else, and they've got window treatments from plantation shutters to whatever else suits your fancy. It's Grenada Home Center, 1301 Sunset Drive, Suite H in Grenada. Call them at 662-226-3127. I still have time to register for Oxford Park Commission Fall Sports. You can sign up today for youth flag football, baseball, softball, volleyball, and soccer. Your children will be able to play all sports thanks to the new format that will allow their sports to play concurrently with various sports playing on different nights of the week. Create an OPC website account at oxfordparkcommission.com or contact OPC Community Relations Director John Davis at oxfordparkcommission.com for additional information. We're also brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern, 662-429-4429. And if you're starting to think about football season, getting all your gear ready for the different games, check out the College Corner. 2 locations in the Jackson area, 1 in Oxford. Also, you can check them out online at collegecornerstore.com. And we're brought to you by Argent Wealth. It's formerly Pinnacle Wealth. Argent Wealth is based in Ridgeland, Mississippi. They represent clients in more than 20 states. Argent provides detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much, much more. At Argent, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Argent will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, and put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan built just for you. It's myargentwealth.com.
Yeah, I guess I did forget that one. South Carolina did fire Mark Kingston, so there has been a change inside the SEC. That job, as of 8:35 Central here on June 10th, still open. I was told on Friday, Dan told them no. They offered the job to Dan McDonnell. The best I can tell.
That was stupid.
According to multiple sources, he was concerned about Carolina's NIL inside the SEC relative to everyone they have to play against as the thing goes on. I think Dan is content to ride it out, making his $1.3 million and let it be what it is. He and his wife really like Louisville, and just let it be what it is.
I'm not convinced NIL is the answer to everything.
No,
it is fast become this just thing.
It just makes life easier, but it also gives you more ability. It's interesting.
You still have to make the right evaluations.
That's the thing. It actually becomes a crutch to make you that allows you to make poor roster decisions.
Yeah,
because you start worrying only about talent and not what it looks like.
Fit and not cultural fit and not personnel fit, personality fit. There's there's a lot more to a baseball team than, hey, let's just have the most talented guys. And if you just go out and get into the portal and bring 3 or 4 people and give them a whole bunch of money, you are creating issues inside your own locker room.
Well, Clemson has very little NIL. I was playing around on Twitter yesterday as Cam Canarello made the big Willie Mays type catch to keep their season going there in the 10th against Florida yesterday. And look, it's just a fact that Ole Miss has one player that makes more money than Clemson's entire team from an NIL standpoint. It's just true.
Yeah.
Insert Ole Miss or a lot of other SEC programs at that point.
Sure.
But what they have done is put a really good roster together that makes sense without NIL. So, look, is it a crutch that maybe keeps Clemson from winning a national title? Yes, probably. It's probably something like it's just hard to beat the other really good teams who are efficient with roster management and have NIL. Like, that's where your superpowers start coming in when that happens. But also shows you that a lot of times it's having the right pieces and the right players and some veterans, and you just kind of make the sauce taste good with all the ingredients. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of, you don't always need the best of the best truffle to make a damn good sauce.
No, the best chef is the one that knows how to work with a lot of different ingredients. And the flip side of that is I can give an average chef 5 incredible ingredients, and he or she can still serve something that's quite average.
I used to watch these videos. I forget the company or the YouTube account that would do it, but they would do that. They would give a world-class chef, they would have him make a dish, and they'd give him like $15 in ingredients, and they would take like a home cook and give him $500 in ingredients and then compare them.
Yeah.
And the thing that the world-class chef could do was pretty nuts for the $15.
Yeah.
He could grab the ground chuck and still turn it into something pretty tasty.
And it's not apples to oranges. I mean, it's not apples to apples here, but you know, it's still a decent analogy.
Yeah, well,
I just think it's become this thing of, well, just throw more money at it. It doesn't always work.
Yeah, Nathan, it's where I was going next. He says, Chase is a college football fan. How do you feel about the lack of balance in the sport in terms of reaching a conference? Going for a while, but feels like NIL portal really escalated it, and we were seeing that in real time. The SEC was involved in all 5 games yesterday. They went 5-0. There are already 4 SEC teams in Omaha, that's happened. That's not a surprise.
It'd be a surprise if they didn't.
Yeah, Florida knocks off Clemson in 13 innings. Hell of a game yesterday, 11-10.
So who's in? Tennessee's in.
That's what I'm going. Yeah, Florida over Clemson. Florida's in.
Okay.
Tennessee over Evansville. Game 3. Tennessee's in.
Okay.
Texas A&M 15 over Oregon. 9. A&M's in.
Okay.
Kentucky 3-2 over Oregon State. Kentucky's in.
Good for them.
So Kentucky, by the way, they were the last SEC team to have never made the College World Series, so now all have.
And Georgia has to play today to get
Georgia is the only game 3 tonight. They play at 7:00. They beat NC State 11-2 after getting beat 18-1 in the opener on Friday. On the other side, so one side of the bracket, if Georgia wins today, would be all SEC. So Kentucky and Florida are on a side. A&M is on that side, and then the winner of Georgia and North Carolina State is on that side.
Okay.
We already know that A&M is going to play Florida, I believe, in the first round, if I have that right.
Okay.
I'll pull up the bracket in a minute, but I think that's right. Tennessee is on the other side with all ACC teams. So Tennessee is sitting on that side of the bracket, and they are on that side with North Carolina, Virginia, and Florida State. And as you're aware, NC
so we could
State,
conceivably get a Tennessee-Texas A&M final.
We could conceivably get that, yes.
Yeah.
We could get a Florida-Tennessee final. We could get a Kentucky-Tennessee final. Yes, that is. Tennessee is over there. They're the Braveheart character with everybody coming at them, the only SEC team on that side of the bracket. NC State trying to crash the SEC side of the bracket. And the point we're making here is that if NC State wins, it's 4 SEC, 4 ACC. And if the SEC wins, it's 5 SEC, 3 ACC. This would be the first time, or this already is, the first time since the College World Series went to at least 4 teams that they all come from 2 conferences at this point. And it's an interesting deal because, look, the last 2 weekends of baseball have been really good. It's been a really good mix of college sports, which is well played and dumb and stupid and everything that you want in your college sports. It's felt like college football in a lot of ways. Is you get a lot of good home environments, you get a lot of pageantry, you get a lot of dumb stuff happening, and screw-ups everywhere, and then trickled in as a lot of really good prospects and a lot of really good baseball, and it's a good TV product. It's become a better TV product as the games have gotten quicker. They've made it a better TV product over the last 5 years with every change they've made. College baseball has never been stronger. College baseball has also never been more regional. And look, there are pros to cons to that. I don't even necessarily, if I know how I feel about it, I think it will be good for TV because it's a bunch of named teams. I think the average guy gets on there and he sees Florida, Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee. He knows those uniforms. He knows those colors. He knows those team names. It is a little, though, like, ooh, we're really getting into a regionality thing here, even more so than ever. It's sort of ironic. The one thing they've been trying to fix forever has happened as the sport has gotten the best it's ever been. And that's interesting. I don't even know bad, good. Maybe it's not bad or good, but it's interesting if nothing else. And that's kind of where I was sitting going, yeah, nobody more north than Virginia, nobody more west than A&M.
I mean, there's no part of the country that's even close to as invested as this part is.
No.
And that's at some point going to hurt you.
Yeah, it's not even talent, it's investment.
That's the word.
There's good players in California. They've started coming east.
Because they can make more money.
Yeah, Jacob Gonzalez was from Glendora, California. He wasn't going to UCLA.
A&M's got some California kids.
Yeah. I mean, they're shortstops. The transfer from St. Mary's or Pepperdine or Riverside or somewhere over there.
All right. I don't know that it's good or bad. It just is. Is it good for the growth of the sport? Probably not.
Well, it depends what you're trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to be national, no. If you're trying to be popular, it's probably fine.
Baseball as a sport is regional. Hell, Major League Baseball is regional. There's just teams all over the country.
Incredibly regional.
I mean, I have a hunch when the TV ratings come out, they're pretty good for yesterday relative to college baseball ratings, but it's going to be completely centralized on SEC and ACC teams that are watching teams that they know and compete against.
Yeah, probably so.
I mean, there'll be some national people, sure, but not to the point of.
But if I'm a Big Ten school, I can't. If I'm in the meeting room today, seriously, not to crap on college baseball, but if I'm in the meeting room at Indiana or Illinois or whatever, and someone mentions baseball, I'm like, why are we doing this? All right, I realize we got to play the game, but let's just do the minimum here. We're not. It would take us way too much to get into to be a consistent contender.
And do we want to be?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
It's like a threat on the board, and I wasn't being rude. I mean, it was a valid question because, I mean, I get Michigan has Michigan Crop's thing, but the point I made last night was East Carolina is an easier job to win at than Michigan in college baseball.
Yeah.
It just is. There's more talent.
Well, they're committed to it.
They care more.
Yeah, sure.
The whole thing. It's easier to schedule.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of it. That's what's happened to some degree, too, is these SEC and ACC schools start they start playing each other.
Mm-hmm.
You're running RPIs up. You're doing all these things. You basically have a co-op on the sport at that point.
Sure. Well, I mean, if I'm some of those schools, I'm looking at it going, I don't know that college baseball would be big enough to base your decision on, right? And I'm talking about Virginia, North Carolina, Clemson, Florida State. But it would be at least a talking point in the room when you're trying to pick your future home.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know that it's anywhere near the top of your talking point.
But it's a good little bullet over there on the side.
It's there. Hey, if we play in the Big Ten, we might not be what we thought we would be. And if we play in the SEC, we're going to be another power playing in a league full of powers. Well, and look, Florida is doing what Ole Miss did 2 years ago, which is making future committees have easy decisions to make.
Just put the SEC teams in.
Yeah, I mean, I think going into next season, 12 and 18 should be enough. The league's a bitch. I mean, we have 5 teams. If Georgia wins today, 5 teams getting in.
Yeah.
Look at who didn't get in from the SEC. The only one that underachieved is Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else was like a 2 seed that wasn't really supposed to get there, and then Florida goes as a 3. It's a brutal league. If you're at the top of the SEC at the end of a season, the odds are pretty strong you're getting to Omaha.
And had LSU beaten North Carolina, they probably would have beaten West Virginia.
Yeah, for sure.
So they'd be here too.
Absolutely. And they were damn close.
Yeah, extra innings. A fly ball, frankly.
Yeah. And, I mean, you could do ifs with a lot of schools. I mean, Hagen Smith has one bad inning the whole damn season. It just happens to come there.
Did you see that stat about his first inning and last inning? Did you see this?
Mm-mm.
So Hagen Smith, and I'm going to get it a little wrong, but you'll get the point. In his first inning of the season and his last inning of the season, he gave up 9 runs. In the 83 innings in the middle, he gave up 10.
It's incredible. Yeah, I mean, he has one bad inning. If he doesn't have that bad inning, they probably win that regional. And then who knows what they would have done to Virginia? They probably would have lost to Virginia. Virginia's pretty good.
Yeah.
But you get the point. Not picking on Pat here, but the joy that Pat Forty took in a one Saturday afternoon on a regional when a couple of SEC teams got beat has proven to be flawed. LSU lost to North Carolina. Arkansas lost to who did they lose to? Kansas State. And Mississippi State lost to Virginia in one day. And it's like, oh, the SEC's dead. It's like, oh, for the love of God. No, not even close.
Yeah, Georgia came out swinging yesterday after what was just a horrific Friday. NC State scored 11 runs in the second inning on Friday. They get beat 18-1. They come back, play really well yesterday in game 2. Tennessee was never losing to Evansville twice. No. Evansville had 0 bullets for a game 3. Credit to the Purple Aces.
That's like I saw some of the people doing the cheerleading thing like all over social media on Saturday, and I was like, whatever. They're not turning around and losing. And the fact that they turned around and dominated that game, I thought spoke volumes for where their program is. I know people love to hate them for a lot of legitimate reasons. I'll be honest, I kind of find them to be a pretty entertaining watch.
It's why I like Kentucky so much is that I feel like I get a lot of that watch without having grit in my teeth the same way a little bit. I'm with you. I mean, I don't mind Tennessee from a watchability standpoint.
I like the way they play the game.
But I kind of find Kentucky the more palatable version of the two.
Yeah, because it's a little newer and fresher. And
by the way, damn Wildcats. I've been telling you this.
I've been telling you this for weeks.
18 innings, Oregon State had 3 hits total.
Look, they're really good.
And they fit Omaha, that park.
They're a contender.
No.
I told you, I have watched them more than any other SEC team this year.
Yeah.
I bet I watched 20-something Kentucky games. Mm-hmm. They're legit. There is absolutely no fluke there. They're talented 1 through 9. They don't have superstars, but they pitch it pretty good. Their bullpen's pretty good. They throw strikes. They're pretty good defensively. They run the bases really well.
Oh, they're great.
I mean, they do a lot of – and then they get on your nerves.
Mm-hmm.
But they do a lot of good, and they like playing with one another. I mean, that is a close team. You can see it. They're legit.
Texas A&M is going to be without Braden Montgomery, just a terrible injury over the weekend. I think they might be down a pitcher or two. They're really banged up. I don't know. Oregon gave them a lot of help yesterday. Then they took advantage. Oregon was up 8-4. And the 7th, and the head coach, look, maybe their bullpen was dead. I know nothing about Oregon's personnel or why they did what they did. But they allowed that kid to sit in there and walk 6 guys, including walking 2 or 3 runs in to get A&M back in the game. I think they walked in guys to get them to 8-6, 8-7, 8-8, and 9-8 down. And then A&M hit a grand slam on the next batter, and it went 13-8. Just complete fall apart on the mound there for the Ducks. Speaking of what you're talking about a second ago, UCLA and Oregon, Washington SC, pretty good baseball programs. They're all in the Big Ten now. Like, they're going to find it weird.
Very.
Yeah, I like Oregon maybe more than anyone because they've kind of become the new team as far as actually some crowds and a fan base that cares and that kind of thing.
And suddenly you're going to places that don't care. It's going to impact your
Yeah, I have a conference series in Happy Valley, Pennsylvania against a Penn State program that does not care. Like, it's cold.
And schedules as if they don't care.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird.
It's a strange spot. So 5-0 there. Florida Clemson, the best game of the day. Clemson hits a home run to tie it in the 9th.
I did not turn on that game until the 9th inning.
Okay.
And then I got my money's worth. I literally picked up that game in the 9th inning. Was hanging out at the pool all day. I watched some of Cubs Reds. I watched some of the French Open finals. It was a really good match.
Sure. Alcaraz wins, by the way.
And then, I was just I wasn't really paying attention to anything. And then I was teaching Carson how to do big green egg yesterday.
Oh, really?
And so we turned that on outside. I was just looking for something, and that came on in the 9th inning, and holy hell. I mean, the catch that the kid in center field made.
Cam Canarella.
I mean, dude, that was incredible. That was the best catch.
Season is over if you don't catch the baseball.
And when that ball leaves the bat, he's playing in because he's got to play at the plate.
Yeah.
And that ball's hit. Dude stroked it. And you're like, it's
over.
You're not getting to that. And he just goes 1,000 miles an hour. I mean, I know everybody saw it already, and then not only that, might have actually overrun it by a couple of inches. Not criticizing. He's just making
his spatial awareness to know where the wall and the ball are.
And the ball hits his wrist, not the glove, wrist, and starts to move.
And he grabs it
somehow
into the wall.
Unbelievable. What a play. Yeah. I mean,
I think he's the kid that hit the home run in the 9th.
He is.
Yeah.
But the play in center field was more impressive than the 3-run home run.
And you had missed a lot of pyrotechnics to that point, a lot of poor umpiring, a lot of stuff. Like Kinsmore Stadium there in Clemson was becoming a bit of a powder keg already.
Here's my thing. If college baseball is ever going to get to the next level, the umpiring has to get better.
And Kyle, because he's such a company man, kind of came off of it. But credit to Kyle Peterson and Dave Neal for publicly saying it on air during telecast this week. West Virginia's season ended on a check swing strikeout when the kid did not go around. It's like, and the umpire didn't even appeal. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot let that happen right there because they had runners on. Like, they were ready to tie it. The quick version of this for anybody that hasn't seen it is it was kind of the perfect play to create a problem. Clemson kid hits a dribbler down the first base line. Caglione is pitching, grabs it, runs at him, and they're meeting down the line to tag him out. And the kid from Clemson halfway protecting himself because Caglione's a pretty big guy and putting force back in, kind of shoulder and elbowed him on the way by.
Okay.
Jack turns around, kind of pushes him back. Both sides sort of come out of their dugout, do whatever. And what my mind immediately goes to is, oh, crap, because I'm thinking about the Mississippi State-Georgia deal from back in the regular season when anyone who left their position or left the dugout was kicked out of the game, was ejected. And I'm going, you've just hurt today, maybe tomorrow, like this thing is going crazy. But they don't run Caglione. They don't run the batter. They run a kid who was on second base, went to third base on the play, was leaving the field, and instead of running in a straight line back to his dugout, he sort of ran into the skirmish, and he just kind of stood in the back of where everybody was gathering and then went to the dugout, and they threw him out for leaving his position. And it's like, number one, even in the thing last night where they tried to explain it with a press release, they said he left the base. And it was the third out. Where the hell is he supposed to go? Literally, it was the third out of the inning. The inning was over. And I get he did not put his head down and run in a straight line, but come on, use a little bit of common sense here. There was zero escalation at all to this.
What happened was it 13th inning?
It was 13th inning.
I mean, I was a few beers in. I was running out of – and so the kid for Clemson hits a home run to give him a lead.
It's a fascinating play, really, from an umpiring standpoint.
And he celebrates it.
He spikes the bat flips, whatever.
Yeah.
Here's why it's a dumb rule, and I texted you about this last night. So the umpires actually got that part right. They get together. College baseball, again, it's a rule problem. They've put an emphasis on no bat flips at all, no taunting opponents, nothing. And the level of scrutiny is on kick them out, get rid of them if there's even a question. You can hate it, but that's the way the rule's written.
Okay.
They've put an emphasis on it. So umpires get together and just warn him. They don't eject him. They don't do anything to the kid for hitting the home run. It's the right call. What is dumb about the call, and what I text Neal, and I think I tweeted it last night too, is if they literally had just been in other dugouts, the kid would have been ejected because the bat flip would have been in the direction of Florida's dugout.
And the home run would not have counted.
It's the way my interpretation is. There is some level of subjectiveness to that, but
Okay.
and you make that call.
So what were Bakich and Leggett yelling about?
So I think Bakich was frustrated by lots of things that had played out over the course of the game.
Yeah.
He was pissed because Leggett got tossed, because why the hell are you throwing out the fourth assistant, essentially?
Why was Leggett tossed?
I don't know what he said. I mean, he didn't do anything offensive. And then I think Eric got thrown out simply to get his crowd fired up. It was the 13th inning. They had a lead. I don't think he was actually griping about anything in that instance.
Had they won, he would not be able to manage the game today.
And I don't know that he knew the rule, because so if you haven't been thrown, it's a college baseball weird like downline footnote. If a head coach is thrown out, typically 99% of the time he can come back the next day if it's his first ejection of the season. Okay. And he hasn't been thrown out this year.
Okay.
So in his mind, he's thinking, I get thrown out, I'll be back tomorrow. But the way the umpires interpreted him, which again comes to the umpires having zero sense or understanding of the moment yesterday, they sucked.
Yes, 100%.
Was they hit him with another footnote that says if you excessively carry on, they can increase the suspension to 2 games. So they hit him with not a mitigating, but an increasing factor in addition to his ejection is why he would have missed the games, because he didn't leave immediately when he was ejected. And it's like come on.
No one leaves immediately when they're ejected. You get your money's worth.
Yeah, so unless you're going to home plate and throwing things, nobody ever gets that 2-game additional suspension. But by God, they hit him with it yesterday. And it's like, he's suspended 2 games in Arlington next year. So he's probably not coaching if they play Ole Miss next year. It's stupid. Like it's
beyond stupid.
It's there's no words for it.
It's ridiculous.
Yes. And then, as Dave Neal kept saying, the SEC, for all of its negatives, have plenty, they run a really good replay system as far as speed, as far as getting it and communicating.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave Neal pointed out yesterday that the SEC technology will be available in Omaha. They'll have it. Don't have it in regionals, super regionals, because every park might not be able to get it, so they don't put it everywhere. So there was no ability to communicate to the stands what the hell was going on. There was no ability to communicate to the announcers what was going on to tell the TV people. And the review was like this convoluted thing that didn't have the same system that we're used to the entire year. I mean,
and the strike zones, man. The strike zones.
Oh, boy.
The strike zones. Look, I don't watch as much as you guys watch, but I watched a lot during the regular season. And a
lot of stealing some strikes yesterday with some framing, boy. Ooh, boy.
Maybe these are different umps. I guess there are a lot of different umps. Give the SEC, I'll say this, the SEC strike zone was a lot better than the national strike zone. There was some at-bats that were dramatically changed by bad calls.
Yeah, had Clemson won, they would have been without Bakich and Leggett today.
Yeah.
So their head coach and probably the guy who would be the head coach in Bakich's absence.
So you're
a Hall of Fame.
You don't think Eric knew that at the time, at the moment?
I don't. Because it wouldn't have been worth it at that point.
No, of course not.
I think he just thought, hey, I got a chance to fire him up right here. We got a lead.
Well, he should go to Arlington and sit up like in the top deck and just drink a couple of beers.
Yeah, just hang out.
Yell at throw peanuts at people.
Yeah, my guess is you would not go and do that if you're just trying to fire them up. If you thought there was any chance they were going to hit you with the extenuating suspension, that would make no sense.
Is it bad that I was really in that moment? Because I was like, by 4 innings of that game, I had seen so many missed calls that when they did it, I told Carson, I was like, oh, I want them to take the home run away just for the chaos.
Because that place.
And he was.
That was my first fear. I went, oh shit, oh shit. I mean, I kind of like put my hands over my thing, and I went, I think I know what they're about to do here. And I was like, oh god,
that place was going to melt down.
Oh god, like
that place was going to melt down. But I was like, I kind of want this to happen at this point.
Yeah, because I had a friend text me and go, hey, what are they about to call here? And I was like, I'm scared to reply and answer you. I don't, because I'm a little worried that's a take it off the board here.
I thought that's what was coming because that's why I got so confused.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, you warned him and then you explained it to me, but I was like, I thought you couldn't taunt.
Yeah. No, it has to be directed at the other team. So had Florida been in the first base dugout, he would have been kicked out, ejected.
And they would have taken the home run off the board.
I think.
Well, holy shit when that happens.
But the umpires got together and went, we've already sucked all day. Let's not suck here.
You just can't throw people out in that moment. Just tell people to shut up.
Yes.
Hey, we warned him. We have to. You know the rules. Get back in the dugout. Please don't make us do this. Shut up. Have some common sense.
They threw the kid out earlier for leaving the base after the third out. That was the explanation.
That was stupid. That's no common sense.
Because I'll give Eric credit for that. Is they told him, hey, tell 13 or whatever he's going. He went, no, you tell him. I'm not ejecting him. You're ejecting him. So he called the kid back out on the field and said, go talk to them. Because they literally looked at back at you and went, hey, tell your guy he's out of here.
So he would have been suspended from today too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they'd been without their first baseman, I think.
Just idiotic. Really it is.
Yeah, I got down really in the weeds with all the ejection rules yesterday. I started going down the book and going, I think I'm right, but let me look through this.
The one thing that really stuck out between, like I told you, I watched a good bit of Cubs Reds, and then last night I actually watched a little bit of Yankees Dodgers. Not much, but the one thing that really sticks out is the different strike zones. And I realize Major League, you got to get better.
Yeah,
as Aaron Boone would say, you got to get effing better.
He's great.
He's
I love the umpire conversation.
Be better.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's great. We'll do this later in the week. Again, Georgia, North Carolina State tonight. But your matchups, just because I was a little wrong there. Tennessee, Florida State on one side. They are joined on that side with North Carolina and Virginia. So North Carolina, Virginia, an opening game.
Okay.
And then Tennessee, Florida State, an opening game. Good stuff there.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, by the way, Tennessee, Florida State is a rematch between Tennessee and Link Jarrett, who was at Notre Dame when they knocked off Tennessee in the 2022 Super Regional.
Okay.
Just a little bit there. And then on the other side, we've got Kentucky waiting on tonight's winner. So Kentucky will play either NC State or Georgia in the opening round. And then already set Texas A&M and Florida on the bottom half. It's a good game.
I'm not betting against the Gators right now.
They've got a little Ole Miss feel to them right now.
And no offense to that Ole Miss team, this Florida team's more talented.
No, that's the
They're really talented.
Everybody going, hey, Florida's got the worst record of whatever. And I'm like, that's
whatever.
A top 5 talented team right there, boy.
They're legit.
Would you, runner on first, nobody out, would you have walked him yesterday? If they score, they win?
Talking about Keighlin on?
Yeah.
Yes, I don't pitch to him.
You'd have put first and second with nobody out.
I'm not pitching to him.
They pitched to him and struck him out, but I was like, oh.
I know. With my season on the line, I'm not pitching to him.
I can't go to bed tonight with him hitting one over the batter's eye, and that's how we ended it.
No, or a double into the gap.
Yeah.
The way no.
We'll deal with the next cat.
And if I'm playing Georgia, like tonight, he's walking 4 times.
I think they did intentionally walk him 3 times yesterday.
You're not,
but they allowed him the first time up to hit one over the batter's eye.
You're not seeing a pitch. Take your base. Bases loaded, take a base. I'm going to get the next guy.
Yeah.
I'm not pitching to him. You're not hitting a grand slam right now. You're going to get a walk and an RBI. Congrats.
Yeah.
And when he looks over at me, I'll just be like, hey, it's nothing but respect, man.
Yeah.
But if we don't get there, it's not going to be because of you.
Yeah. So there's no situation other than we lose if the guy from third scores that you would.
That's it.
Yeah.
The only way I'm pitching to him is if he comes up to the plate.
Bases loaded and guy on third wins the game.
Bases loaded, extra innings, 9th inning, whatever, and I have no choice. If I ever have any choice at all, I'm not pitching to him.
Yeah.
I'm not pitching around him.
Yeah, you're not going to trust your pitcher to keep it away and do all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
There's literally no reason for you to put your pads on.
Yeah.
Don't. And when he looks over at me, I just go, "Hey, tip my hat. You're really good.
Yeah.
I'm not pitching to you."
Yeah.
I don't even make it complicated. I'll be curious. It's actually the one thing about tonight that I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
Not letting you hit a 3-run home run. 2 people on. I'm gonna walk you anyway. I'm gonna try. And the next guy's pretty damn good, but he's not Condon.
No. So. All right, Prime Shrimp, primeshrimp.com. A lot of different flavors available for you. They got 8 different options. There's soy ginger, their newest release. It's well done, especially with other proteins, with hibachi, rice, vegetables, that kind of thing. Make some stir fry out of it. Their best sellers, the signature, the New Orleans style barbecue. Those are great as well. They make great protein snacks, great lunches, quick throw on salads, and then with dinner, got kids, camp stuff going on. Let them make it easy on you to take care of dinner tonight with prime shrimp. They deliver directly to your door and then freezer to plate fewer than 10 minutes with a restaurant quality shrimp from the New Orleans based company. We're going to make it a little cheaper on you as well. Use code RG. Buy 5 pouches or more, 25% off. Again, that's 25% off with code RG at primeshrimp.com.
Brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. John's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows him to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. If you're thinking about a trip that you want to create a lifetime of unique memories, get in touch with John. Give him some parameters. Give him a budget. That's really important. And he'll take care of you. 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. Oxford's newest Greek restaurant on the square, Opa, is the perfect place to plan your company dinner, festive party event. If you're even thinking ahead to a Christmas party, Opa would be a great place. Fabulous food, great craft libations. They accommodate up to 200 guests. For catering or booking information, contact Jeannie, 601-421-7147. We're also brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency. They've been connecting great job opportunities to candidates since 1967. If you're on the job hunt, whether you're seeking an entry-level position or you are a seasoned professional, they have opportunities across the board. Whether you're in IT, engineering, dentistry, accounting, law, manufacturing, human resources, or more, they can help you at Service Specialists. They're going to get to know you, get to know your strengths, see what you're looking for in your next career move, and help you find the right fit. It's always free for the candidate, so you've got nothing to lose. 601-573-9242 or servicespecialistltd.com. Get the beautiful and healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com.
Yeah, the Pac-12 officially died whenever the final pitch of Kentucky and Oregon State ended last night. That was the
end,
at least in this iteration.
Yeah. How about that? If I told you 3 years ago the Pac-12 will be dead in June of 2024, you would have said no way.
It'd be a good trivia question in like 15 years. What school beat a Pac-12 team in the final game of Pac-12 competition?
It's why when people go, 4 years from now, I'm like, you can't predict 4 years from now anymore. You can't. It's too volatile. Think of how much it's changed in 4 years. You couldn't have predicted 1/3 of this in 2020. So you want to try to predict what it's going to look like in 2028? Have at it.
Well, no, it's like I had written down this is a potential topic, but the message board had kind of gone crazy on hey, Lane this, Lane that, Matt Luke, kind of that whole deal over the weekend. We've done it a lot, so I'm not rehashing, but it's not just everything that's happened. It's keeping everything and progressing the way for Ole Miss that they have amongst all the change and the chaos. Like, that's what's fascinating to me, is that your adaptability, your luck, your everything had to move in this direction with everything changing. It wasn't like you just simply hired a coach and followed a script for 5 years. Like, all these little butterfly things moved in these different directions to get Ole Miss into a season that you guys are all excited about, and you're so damn nervous you can't see straight right now about.
Is that what they are? Nervous?
Oh, yeah. Everybody's terrified.
I'm sensing anxiety. Yeah,
everybody's terrified right now. Yeah, 100%. You're excited, but you're going, oh, my God, one loss. Because that's what I told Brian the other day. That's
why the message board's kind of volatile all the time.
That's what I told Brian the other day, is that it's so much bigger than one season, potentially, because it's proof of concept on your NIL working or not working. It's, hey, these guys are leaving. How do you restock the roster after this? Like it's so many things beyond just simply, hey, can you go 10-2 and get in and blah blah blah. I mean, that's not where they are. But yeah, I mean, there's 5 to 10 things that in 2019 doesn't go a certain way, and this isn't. Again, there's a world, a really easy world that either you commented on this or they just said this, that Ole Miss and Arkansas are basically in opposite places right now based off how those 2 weeks went.
Yeah, I didn't dare say that. Holy shit.
But sure.
I'd never live it down.
It's true.
I've gotten where I try not to ever mention that school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lane would have taken the Arkansas job.
Yeah, he was going to take it.
And as you said,
they were going to get to the finish line.
It's nothing against Matt or any of that staff, but they easily could have kept Matt another year. And then when the pandemic happens, you're probably doing another year, and maybe another. Like, it just would have gotten into this weird spot.
Yeah, I don't think they would have, just because of economics and stuff in 2020. I don't know that Ole Miss.
That's a weird fire.
He would have had to go really bad, and they probably weren't going to be really bad.
Yeah,
they might have actually been okay.
Corral would have been at Oregon.
Yeah, he was going to Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to deny that. No, deny what you want to deny. The only part of that whole thing that I didn't feel like good enough sourced on to like what Mississippi State would have done with Moorhead.
I had no idea.
I think they were going to give him another year, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
The part about Corral, I'm sourced. The part about
Matt and all that,
Kiffin and all of that with Arkansas, I'm very sourced.
Yeah.
They were going to get there. They had a little bit of booster pushback because the same reason Ole Miss had some booster pushback. Let's be clear. Ole Miss had a couple of days where they had some booster pushback. Arkansas did too. So, but they were eventually going to get to the finish line. Had Ole Miss not fired Luke, he would have been the coach of Arkansas.
And look, there's been a lot of revisionist history, and this has started to happen more and more. And I don't know if I necessarily understand the full reasons why. Is the message board primarily, and I guess the fan base to some extent, because that's the same thing to some extent, is this Boyce versus Keith thing. And it's so stupid because Boyce doesn't need help to be acclaimed right now. He's done a good job. He doesn't need style points. And Keith's done a good job. Like it's not antagonistic where one guy's overseeing the other or whatnot.
No.
The two people that were both against Lane Kiffin being hired were not Glenn Boyce or Keith Carter. They were two boosters.
Yes.
And the one primary one was not Archie Manning. That was the biggest problem.
That's correct.
I know more about this than I want to know.
Same.
It was not Archie, and it was not Keith.
Correct.
Someone else had to be convinced, and that person had to be convinced for it to proceed from there.
Correct.
So stop. It's not. That was not oh my God, Boyce had to sit Keith down and spank him and tell him that they had to hire Lane Kiffin. That was not the case.
I feel quite sure saying that Glenn Boyce did not spank Keith Carter.
Sure. Figuratively.
Yes.
Yes.
Or literally or figuratively.
Okay.
I don't think it happened.
Yes. So I don't always get that. Like, it's not.
And the truth is that kind of thing happens just about everywhere.
Yeah.
When people go, that's unique. No, it's not.
No.
Not even a little bit.
It's actually limited because there aren't as many cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
You think A&M just decides the athletic director and the president to hire a coach?
No, look at their
There's 48 boosters that have an opinion.
Look at their last search.
Yeah. Train wreck.
Yeah.
So point being, those things had to happen for it to get to that point. And yeah, if you don't, and also it wasn't strictly a money became available thing. They paid a lot of Matt's buyout with the money that was brought back from the SEC off the probation a couple years ago. A large portion of Matt Luke's buyout was not used in the books until that. So no, it wasn't like some booster came in and went, hey, here's $16 million. Now fire the coach. That
yeah, it was.
You know what I mean?
It was more nuanced. Yeah, of course.
It wasn't simply, hey, here's a checkbook. Now go run him out of town.
Like most things. Most things are far more nuanced than.
Well,
there are people that live in a
games of telephone don't typically get nuance at the end of them.
Yeah.
Like that's not the way you go, hey, well, look, it's going to take me about 25 minutes to explain this. Then you repeat it down line to everybody as we go. It's not.
That's true.
But yeah, I just look up and I go, damn. You can trace it back to a lot of things. Kiffin staying here can be traced back to a lot of things.
Sure. Sure, lots.
There's not a program in the SEC that's been the most volatile's not the right word, but I mean volatile off the way decisions could have gone than Ole Miss over the last 5 years.
Agreed.
With everything involved.
Yeah. I wish we'd made those kind of super chats.
I would love to have the ability to pay Matt Luke off with super chats. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Such not the case.
The truth is we probably cost ourselves money day in, day out by doing this.
Oh, we do.
We do. We do. We definitely.
Yeah. No, it's 100% true. I'm going to get to this more tomorrow, but Celtics in 5?
Probably. Maybe 6. But probably 5.
It looks.
I wrote 10 thoughts will come out later today. This is what I wrote about it. The only question that anybody had with Boston over the course of the season was, are they feasting on a weaker East? And when they play whoever survives the West, will it get exposed? And now we know the answer is no. They're an elite team.
Yeah, they're simply good.
Their net rating, offense, defense, the entire season was top 2, top 3. They're a very good defensive team. I think this is a pretty good analogy. They are doing to Dallas what Oklahoma City did to Dallas. The difference is that Boston is a better offensive team as a playoff team than OKC is right now. And so they're winning. And they tried Kid did the mind games thing, and I don't blame him. You have to try whatever you can try. But Boston's been down that road before, too. And so they're a veteran team.
That felt panicky.
It just felt like, hey, let's try something.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get some division going. But
you're not.
Those two guys have been together a while. They've lost together. So they're about to go win a title.
They are.
Yeah.
A Mavericks championship would blow me away at this point.
At this moment? Yeah, boy.
That'd be one hell of a...
And I don't think Luka's close to healthy.
No.
If this were the regular season, he would be sitting right now.
And they just don't have enough.
They just don't have enough other dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, look, P.J. Washington has the series of his life, or else they don't get out of Oklahoma City.
Yeah. And played well early in the Wolves series.
He did.
Yeah. So again, more tomorrow, but 2-0 Celtics win last night. 105.99, if I have that right.
105.98.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah, you were fine.
And
I thought Dallas played okay last night. They just
lost.
They just don't have enough.
Yeah, they just lost. So, all right, back. Finish up with our final segment in a minute. First, Northeast Spark any SPRC service people across rural communities. 2 packages: the Ignite, the 100 Mbps, or the Blaze. That is their 1 gig, their fastest option. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. That's AnySpark.com. 662-238-3159. Phone service, parental controls, network security, wireless mesh extender for those who need the extra help, and more. Again, that's 662-238-3159.
Are you a displaced corporate executive? Are you wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? If so, Andy Ludicky can help. He owns multiple franchises and businesses. He uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy. Put your life and your career in your own hands. It's 100% free. You've got nothing to lose. It's myperfectfranchise.net. Andy at myperfectfranchise.net, or you can call him on his cell, 404-973-9901. Southern Traditions Farm is a 68-acre, 32-stall upscale equestrian training and boarding facility in Canton, Mississippi. 2 sand rings, a grass ring, miles of wooded trails, a lot offered at Southern Traditions, including horseback riding offerings from beginner lessons to advanced to competing in nationally recognized competitions. Also a great venue for events and things of that outing, corporate outings, things of that nature. So get in touch with them on Facebook or Instagram at Southern Traditions Farm. I'll have a mailbag up on Wednesday. It's brought to you by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's International Realty to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no cost to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email him at Arthur, ARTHUR.Hayes, HAYS, at lakesmn.com.
So, I guess I intentionally digested a little bit this more than I would have anticipated. Took over our message board for a lot of days. Everybody kind of wading off into the waters that does not actually cover the sport, including a lot of college football writers, which I wanted to get on Twitter and criticize yesterday. The Caitlin Clark thing. Not making Team USA for 2024 this summer. Yeah, I'm thinking like Stuart Mandel with all these takes. And it's like, why?
What was his take?
Oh, I don't mean he's always. It was essentially criticizing fans for being upset because that's what Stu does. He always hates them. For a guy who covers sports, he hates the fans in every sport, which is an interesting dynamic.
Well, and knowing kind of what I know about him, he probably hates Caitlin Clark.
So this is again, let me preface this before I give my opinions with I'm not a women's basketball expert in any way. I've become more interested over the last year.
Wonder why?
Well, it's Caitlin Clark. No, it's 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to some people who cover it way more than I do and understand it to try to get a little better understanding of what happened. Exactly. Take me through the WNBA because I don't know. Let me take me through, explain it to me. And I've done a little bit of that in the last couple of days.
Okay.
So what's interesting, and I'll pose a question, then I'll kind of take me through some of my thoughts on this, is how long do you think the staying power is for this level of mainstream interest, outrage, excitement, use your adjective, that everything that Clark does or does to her is such a story? What is really the staying power on this? Because we're into a WNBA season now. This isn't strictly her at Iowa against Angel Reese.
Of course. Okay. The answer to that question is I don't know.
Yeah.
This was a mistake. This was a stupid mistake.
It's a mistake, but it's not a mistake in the way everybody says it's a mistake.
It's a PR mistake.
It's a PR mistake, but the WNBA doesn't pick the Olympic team. That's one miss here that a lot of people. I'm not about you. Just in general.
I'm referring to whoever picked that team made a mistake. Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
You cannot like why something is suddenly becoming popular, but that doesn't stop you from going, it's the restaurant thing.
Yeah.
Okay? Man, you and me opened a tamale stand, okay?
Yeah, sure.
We opened a Mexican restaurant, you and me.
Sure.
And one day on a wild hair, we fried some chicken.
Okay.
We're really proud of our tacos.
Yeah.
And our burritos and the stuff. We spent a lot of time and research and stuff and marketing dollars on our tacos, our burritos. And one day we let this lady come in and she fried some chicken, and all of a sudden they're lined up outside the door. We have two choices. We can go all in on the damn chicken and make money and be popular, or we can fire her and go, no, you're going to buy our tacos, damn it. And that's what women's basketball is doing right now. They're so upset at the reason that she's popular.
No, they're not. No. That's
okay.
where you're wrong.
Fill me in.
No.
Okay.
I actually think that's incorrect. It's political, but it's not political in that way.
Okay.
I think it's political that they simply are letting the veterans have the team for one more time. Because the one person who shouldn't be on the team is Diana Taurasi. From a playing on-court standpoint, she's older. Done. She's still good, but she's not.
Yeah.
They're letting her get her 6th Olympics and break a record because what she's done for Team USA. So they're letting her have a lifetime achievement.
Okay.
She's the problem. The biggest snub is not Caitlin Clark. The biggest snub is the Arike woman who's averaging 26 points a game for Dallas, who is just not on there because she's not marketable at all in any way, even in their minds.
Right.
So what's funny about it is it's political, but it's political in the way the WNBA can't figure out who to market, period. They've been really bad at it. They did the same thing in 2016. They didn't put Candace Parker on the team. Tennessee, everybody in SEC knows her.
I know who Candace Parker is. I don't watch the sport, right?
They didn't put Candace Parker on. They were obsessed that time with giving Tina Charles and Sylvia Fowles from LSU, a lot of people know her from that, their final Olympics, if you will, in that point. So they go very veteran, very you're one of us, inclusion, that kind of thing. But it's not because of Caitlin Clark's
I didn't mean
whiteness or her straightness.
I didn't
or anything
mean
along
that.
those
I just meant they're pushing back against her. And if I were the people with running the women's national team, I would say, look at how the men grew the game internationally. They sent the best over there. Where they screwed up this Christian Laettner, Shaquille O'Neal thing. For the most part, they sent the best over there.
Yeah, and now that was a requirement because of Coach K and them on the committee.
Right. But they sent the people that the Europeans wanted to see.
Yeah, sure.
Magic.
Yeah,
Michael,
that's my point.
Bird.
I guess that's what I'm saying.
This is my point. Where's the Olympics in Paris?
It's in Paris.
The people in Paris want to see Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
So send Caitlin Clark and tell the veterans, do you want to grow it or not?
But the people picking the teams are sided with the veterans. That's my point. It's not.
I don't understand it.
It doesn't matter if it's Caitlin Clark or whomever else. It's not really against Caitlin Clark. It's, by God, I've got my people and we're sending our people.
I would have put Caitlin Clark and Angel.
Because the WNBA does a poor job of marketing in general.
Yes, they suck.
Like, they've never been able to market people in the past, but the irony is they've actually over-marketed white straight girls, if we're being frank. They've had a hard time figuring out what to do with everybody else over the years. Sue Bird, probably maybe the best point guard in history, and they could never figure out, hey, maybe people would just like Sue Bird if you didn't say she was gay in every sentence. You know what I mean? But they couldn't, it just didn't ever really work.
But like last week, there was this quote scandal, end quote, with this one of the straight white girls. I'd never heard of her before. I didn't know who she was. People were like, oh, she's only popular because she's a straight white girl. I was like, I've never heard of her. Who is she?
Who are you talking about?
The blonde-headed girl that made the comments about how the straight white players have a built-in advantage.
Is that Cameron Brink? I saw it, but okay.
Thank you. That was the name. I'd never heard of her.
Yeah.
I mean, I was that last week old when I heard of her. Caitlin Clark, for whatever myriad of reasons, and I think it goes way beyond her whiteness, her straightness. I think it's the way she plays the game. She's fun. People like to, and then little girls cheer for her because they look at her and go, I could be her one day. You've got a chance to grow the sport and you're not doing it. And so whenever you have an opportunity given to you and you don't take advantage of it, it's you and me going, no, we're not going to sell that chicken.
Yeah. No, look, I would put her on the team. I would put her on the team in place of Dinah Taurasi, and I'd put Arike on the team. That's what I would do. I'm just saying, I don't think it was biased toward those parts of her. I do not think that's what it was. I think it's simply, you're a rookie. You didn't play with us.
Yeah.
You lead the league in turnovers, and by God, we are giving preference to these veterans that have been with us through the stuff for whatever time. And frankly, we kind of missed the boat when it markets anyway. What they're doing, if you can say they're being biased, decision-making, whatever you want to say, toward their fans, they're alienating their new fans to make sure their core is happy. Because WNBA actual fans that have been around prior to this year, they're like really intense.
But there's like 1,000 of them.
It makes college football look calm comparatively. And I think they are being aware of that pushback with the other stuff. But again, the people picking the team don't care about what you're talking about. They literally don't care.
Yeah, I know.
The committee is Simone
stupid.
Augustus, who doesn't involve with this at all. It's Dawn Staley. Dawn Staley doesn't give a shit.
Well, no,
It's.
I mean, I would argue that Dawn Staley's been.
My point is the WNBA people aren't even picking the teams.
Yeah.
So you've got a disconnect on women's basketball, WNBA, and Olympic Committee.
Yeah.
And those are three complete. And now, look, they're going to win the gold no matter if they send me and you over there with them. It does not matter.
No. We'd struggle.
Yes, we would struggle, but they would be fine as a team. So, look, it's. I guess my deal. And now, look,
I'd be Larry Bird laying on the ground watching.
And look, I know I have a few people on the board that call me the resident liberal somehow, so maybe that's what I'm coming today. But
You?
Oh, yeah, I got a couple of them. I'll get emails going, or tweets coming at me going, I'm the liberal one in the group. So I guess the thing is,
I guess compared to Tyler, you are, but.
Well, okay. I guess my point is I wonder how long the noise happens, because Caitlin Clark, frankly, doesn't need to go to Paris. She needs the break.
Her response was great.
She literally when you look at her schedule, because she did a European trip after not this past, but the previous one before.
Yeah.
She's played basketball nonstop for like 2 years.
She's tired.
She needs to add some bulk. The NBA, WNBA, for all jokes aside, is a pretty physical league. She needs to put
especially with her.
Needs to put some bulk on. She needs to rest. It's actually the better thing for her from a basketball sense. Again, I would send her. I'm not justifying the decision. I'm saying that
every game she plays, she knows that a lot of those
target,
people are
she's
there
getting
to
the
see
ball.
her. Yeah,
I think she leads the league in minutes.
She plays a bunch.
Yeah, like all those things. So it's not the end of the world. It's just when I was watching it, I kind of went, okay, because I had the same thought at first. I'm like, oh my God, this is so dumb. And it is dumb. I'm not going against that. But I was kind of going, okay, but why is everyone slitting their own throat? Why? And I kind of went back and went, hey, let me figure this out. And you see it a lot of times in men's sports where you got the 40-year-old that they give the one last hurrah to. And that's kind of what's happened here. Because like I said, if I'm management or I'm whatever for the Arike woman, I'm going, how in the hell?
The difference.
She's a finals MVP.
Right.
She's averaging 26 points a game. Like, how does she get left off the team? Like, she's the one where you look up and go, hold on a minute, you're letting Taurasi go simply as a figurehead instead of me.
Yeah.
She's the snub.
That's like putting LeBron on the team. Is he one of the 12 best players? No, but he's earned it. He's made all you other cats a lot of money.
Sure.
I don't know that Taurasi can say that. He didn't make anybody a lot of money. Caitlin Clark, frankly, is making
Simone
more
Augustus
money.
doesn't care. That's my point.
And my point is she should.
Sure. But she doesn't.
Yeah. So she's being stubborn.
Their goal is not to increase WNBA viewership.
She would not have kept serving the chicken.
Well, maybe, but then make sure the special was the yeah. We're going to tell you about the brisket.
She wouldn't have marketed the chicken. Yeah. She would have stayed with the tacos, even though people didn't really care for the tacos.
It's probably this whole thing is probably another situation of it's in some ways better for the game from a PR standpoint, in a way.
Yeah,
it's keeping people engaged.
They're arguing about it.
Her going to Paris and playing 5 minutes a night probably would not have created the same level of engagement.
Probably not.
Because she shouldn't have played a ton. Like, that's not an argument. The argument is not that she's one of the 12 best players right now. She's not.
No.
That's not
what her going to Paris would have done, would have given that team a lot of publicity. Practices, media sessions, shoot-arounds. People would have come and done stuff on that team and on her, and I guess that would have helped continue to market the sport. Because at some point, you want people to go watch the Indiana Fever play. You want them to buy your sports package. You want them to stream it, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's the entire thing is pretty interesting, just from the standpoint. Like I said before, her, they marketed a lot of Sabrina Ionescu. They've done a lot with Brianna Stewart. They've struggled on like what that's supposed to look like and how and what they do. So anyway, I don't know. Again, we're talking about women's basketball in the Olympics that's coming up, and we would not have done that without this person occurring. So anyway, tomorrow we'll have a final team in the College World Series. Plus some more football stuff as well. I had some articles up. See Ross Dellinger back on the prowl. Learfield jumping into the NIL game.
Saw that.
A larger thing. We'll discuss that tomorrow.
Ross Bjork had some interesting comments.
Did he?
I'm actually writing about them. I kind of agree with him. If we want to keep 36 sports, it'll have to be funded differently.
Well, amen.
Yeah.
Dennis Dodd writing they're cutting football while increasing baseball yesterday. Thought that was an interesting take.
Who is?
Dennis Dodd.
Oh.
Our boy Dennis.
Yeah.
Because they're trimming walk-ons, but they're trying to full scholarship the non-full score sports. Because it counts in the revenue sharing. Tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
RebelGrove.com. Neal's got 10 thoughts out. Maybe some movement on some baseball stuff today as well. So thanks for hanging in and letting us entertain you. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow.